Good morning. Thank you so much for waiting. We just wanted to give a few minutes to let everybody join the session. Thank you so much for taking time from your day to hear about the California Mortgage Relief Program. I'm excited to share information about the program with you today. So we're going to get a little organized and get things started. And if I hear there might be a sound issue, we have somebody helping to operate, and they'll let me know if there is an issue with any audio or visuals. So, all right, I'm going to share my screen. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started with our presentation today. Again, thanks for taking time to join us and hear about the California Mortgage Relief Program. Hopefully you'll find it interesting and something maybe that can help you or somebody you know. So I'll give you a little overview of what we're going to cover today. So we're going to tell you a little bit about the program, who's eligible, how you can apply. We also want to let you know, we know with a lot of, COVID programs and a lot of mortgage programs, there are unfortunately scams and fraud out there. So I want to let you know how this program is real and you can feel comfortable with it, and then what to look for in terms of if you're worried about a scam or fraud. And then how you can help even our program, because, this is a great program for California, and we want to make sure that everybody who can is able to take advantage of it. And of course, we save time to answer some of your questions. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into it. My name is Nicole Evans. I am the Director of Outreach for the California Mortgage Relief Program, and I am going to be walking you through things today. Thanks. All right, I'm going to start with just a little bit of background about the program, because maybe you've never heard of it. Maybe you're wondering, what in the world are we talking about here? And it was really one of the many programs that was created because of the pandemic. So there were programs that helped renters. There were programs that helped people who were unemployed. There were all kinds of programs out there helping people through COVID. And one of the later ones that came from Congress actually was the Homeowners Assistance Fund. So the federal government gave states resources to help homeowners who were experiencing financial hardships because of the pandemic. And so in California, we got a robust amount. We got the most of any state, and we are run through the California Homeowners Relief Program, which is part of, the Cal HFA Homeowner Relief Organization, and it is corporation, and it is a part of Cal HFA, which is a state agency. The financial assistance that we provide is a one-time program. It's not long-term. It's really just this COVID relief program, and it's really to help homeowners with their late mortgage payments, their property taxes that might be unpaid. Some people, when they couldn't pay their mortgages, worked something out with their servicer and took something what's called a partial claim or loan deferral, which I'll explain that later. Or if they had a reverse mortgage, they might have fallen behind on some of the housing expenses related to their home. Again, we received $1 billion from the federal government to help with this program just here in California. We think over the life of the program, we're going to help about 20 to 40,000 households. It started at the really tail end of 2021. So we're well into the program. Over half of the funds have already been distributed, but there's plenty left. We offer grants up to $80,000 per household for all the items that I listed here at the beginning. And one of the amazing things about this program is it's not just a one-time program. Every household that is eligible can receive up to $80,000. And that can mean that maybe you get a small amount and then you can come back. So you have the opportunity to come back again, and applying is free. And the grants that are given never have to be paid back. I will mention, though, again, because this is a time-limited program, the funds are distributed on a first-come, first-served basis. And when the relief support that the federal government provided to the state runs out, then the program will close, and unfortunately, we won't have any additional assistance available for California homeowners through this program. Just another little thing I want to note, I forgot to mention is we are recording this session. And then also at the bottom of every slide, you may have noticed there's a web address, an email address, and a phone number. That's our contact information. That's how you can get information and resources. It's on every slide here, almost every slide here today. And you'll be able to have an opportunity to jot that down as I run through all this information. But before I jump into kind of the nuts and bolts with you, I just wanted to share, like I said, we have already distributed a good amount of funds to help homeowners. Actually, over 20,000 homeowners have already received help. This is Eloy, who is from Palm Springs, who we helped out. And he shared his story a little bit about how he felt after receiving approval and the funds. And he said that he almost fell to his knees when he realized that he no longer owed anything on his home, on his delayed payments. And he felt like if the state hadn't helped him, he may have lost his home. And I have to tell you, we hear that from a lot of people who are fortunate enough to receive the funding. We even have helped people who are in foreclosure save their home even within hours or days of when that sale date is supposed to happen. So we've really kind of helped make dreams come true for people. So let me tell you a little bit about what it is that we're talking about here. The program has 4 different ways that we are helping homeowners in California. The first is what we call mortgage relief. And every single one, again, an applicant who's eligible can get up to $80,000 for any individual one, or also there's a way to combine it all. And I'll talk about that later. But the 4 ways that we provide help is first through mortgage relief. And what we're talking about is people who have fallen behind on their house, their mortgage payments. Again, like I mentioned earlier, there are also people who took these partial claims or loan deferrals as a way to kind of manage payments that they had fallen behind on. We also help to pay those down or pay them off. And then if people have also fallen behind on their property tax payments, we can help out. And finally, with your reverse mortgage, if you have one and you've fallen behind on some of those costs. And I'll give more information as we go through, but those are the 4 ways that we primarily offer support to homeowners. And just very quickly, the system is pretty simple. We really try to make this as least complicated as possible. Of course, it is a financial transaction dealing with a mortgage, so it's not going to be, we have to do a lot of verification and a lot of do need some information, but we try to simplify as much as we could. So basically you go online, you apply, our team goes through and does a review for eligibility. If you meet the eligibility requirements, you're approved, and then all the payments go directly not to the homeowner, but to whoever you owe the money to, if it's your mortgage servicer or maybe your county tax collector. And then you're caught up. And you kind of get a little bit of a fresh start. So that's how it works, just kind of at the very high simplified level. But we'll dig in a little bit more here. I will say too, for some people, it helps to talk to a housing counselor or to talk to legal aid because they may not know if this program works for them. We also, again, the phone number below, our contact center that's open 5 days a week from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. You could call them and tell them a little bit about your situation, and they can let you know if this might be the right program for you. All right, let's jump in. So what is the mortgage assistance and what do you need to know about it? So basically, if homeowners are behind on payments, that's the first step. So you've got to be behind or missed some of your mortgage payments. Actually, you need to have missed at least 2 of them before August 1st of this year. So if you've missed 2, 3, 4, whatever, at least 2 payments before August 1st of this year, then you might be eligible. Now, as a reminder, there is an $80,000 limit on funding. So if you owe a lot more than $80,000, again, you might want to talk to a housing counselor or legal aid, or call our contact center. And again, they can walk you through this a little bit more, but at least 2 payments before August 1st of this year. And then also, just to let you know, like I mentioned before, if you're eligible, and we'll go more through that, the payment will go directly to your mortgage company. So it's fraud protection on our end. We need to make sure that it gets to the place it needs to go. So it gets directly applied to that homeowner's mortgage. The other important thing to be eligible for our program is you must own only one property, and that does need to be located in California. It is the California Mortgage Relief Program. And the one thing, though, is that property maybe you've got 4 units on the property, anywhere up to that, and you should be able to get some help. I'm just going to take a little pause here. I'm so sorry for just 1 second. I think I'm having internet issues. Facilitator, can you tell me, am I okay right now?
Yes, I can still hear you. You did pause for a moment, but it's okay so far.
Okay, I'm just going to keep going then. Okay, so if you have, if you own only one property in California, it can have up to 4 units on that property, and you still could be eligible. Another thing, I just want to take a little break and we'll go back into eligibility, but just share another homeowner story. This is Anna. We funded her early on in the program. She's from Stockton. And again, you can see, like, this program, we've heard from so many people that it took them a long time before they applied because they didn't think it was real. They didn't think it could be possibly for them. And then there is complete relief once people do take that step, apply, or make a call just to find out if they should apply. And then the relief of having that fresh start. Okay, so another important eligibility point here is that you will be asked in the application to click a box and affirm that and attest that you faced a pandemic-related financial hardship. We don't ask for a lot of explanation about that, but just to help you understand what we mean when we say that is you may have had increased housing costs or household costs. It might be you had higher medical bills. Maybe people had to come live with you because they lost their housing. Who knows what it could be. So you might have had increased housing costs, or you might have had a decrease in income because you didn't work as much, or maybe you didn't have a job. Just whatever that might have been that caused a decrease in income. So that's how that works in terms of a requirement, and that's for anybody who applies to our program. Every single person must have a COVID-related hardship and own only one property. Additionally, the program is really designed, and Congress intended for it to serve low to middle income households. So every applicant has to meet our income requirement, and it varies depending on where you live and how many people are living in your household. And I'm going to take a minute to walk you through that more because it's a little bit complicated. So we use what's called the area median income, and that's actually set by the federal government, the Housing and Urban Development Department. And they set a special area median income for this homeowner assistance fund that went out to the states. So there we have a link to that, but basically it varies by county because, as we know, in a state like California, what it costs to live in San Francisco is very different than what it costs to live in Fresno. And so it varies based on where you live and the number of people who are in your household. So we just pulled a couple of examples here so you could see. So our program is set to top out at people who have 150% of AMI. So if they're above that, they would not be eligible. But if they're at 150% or below, they would be eligible. The samples here are for a household of 4. and it represents the maximum income that U.S. Treasury actually allows us to support within this program. So the rules are set through the federal government, and then the state added a little bit to make the program unique and specific to our California need. And so, but then ultimately Treasury had to sign off on every state's plan. So this plan was approved by the federal government, and they actually did say no state program could serve households whose AMI is above 150%. So we went to the highest level we could. The way you can figure out what your AMI is actually just visiting our website, which here is camortgagerelief.org, and you just type in the name of your county, and you'll have a drop-down menu, and you click on that county name, and then you enter the number of people who live in your home. You click the orange button, and it will tell you what that maximum income level is for your county and household size. So there's just an easy way you can find it right on the homepage. You just scroll down, and then it'll be there. So that's our income limit. Now, I will say there are many more eligibility requirements, and I don't want to bore you all going through them line by line by line. I'd like to encourage you to visit, again, our website, noted here at the bottom, camortgagerelief.org. And you can go to the Who is Eligible page, and we have a nice chart here that will walk you through all the various eligibility requirements for mortgage relief, for property tax assistance, for reverse mortgage, and for partial claim and loan deferral. So, and you could always, again, call our contact center, and they can walk it through as well. If you read any of these and you're not quite sure what it means, it's complicated. Hey, it's all financial stuff is super complicated. We understand. So that's why we have a call center to help you out. Now, okay, so you kind of know what it is. You know what generally some of the key eligibility requirements. Now you might be ready to go for it and apply. Well, we designed an application system that, again, was as simple as we could for this program. It is all online. You can be done through your computer or through your phone. In some ways, the phone is easy because you can, you do have to provide some documents. And so you can just snap a picture with your phone and easily upload those documents to your application. So on our homepage and every single page, you can click in the top right corner, the orange Apply Now button, and you can start your application. And the nice thing about this is you don't have to complete the application all at one time. You can get started, start your, create a login and a password, and then you can come back and you have up to 30 days to finish your application. So you can take the time to gather the paperwork you need, call our contact center, and if you have questions as you're going through the application, they can walk you through step by step. They do a lot of one-on-one support as people go through that application process. So it's very easy. Just again, right through our website, camortgagerelief.org, and click on Apply Now. Sharing another little story. This is our last story of the day here. This is Angela, who lives in Bloomington. And, again, she just felt like this program really helped take a lot off of her shoulders and give her amount of relief. And these are words directly on the screen here from Angela. So I just wanted to share because I think, again, I just want people to understand this program is real and people are getting help. Over 20,000 people, 20,000 have already gotten this resource. And I will say too, on the up to 80,000 per household, it is based on the amount that is owed on property tax or on your mortgage that's past due, or on your partial claim. I mean, all these different items, we pay only the amount that's due. We don't just pay a flat amount of 80,000. Now, as I mentioned, when you're going through that application process, obviously we need to verify. So some of the things you can have ready before you start your application that you know we're going to ask for is things like your mortgage statement, or if you're applying for help with your property taxes, you're going to have that tax bill. You might have to have a document that shows that you have that partial claim or loan deferral. We're going to ask for bank statements for everybody who is over 18 in the household. I will say the income, 150% income does apply to it's combined of every adult who lives in the household. We'll ask for utility bill to verify that that's your residence, and then some income documentation. And there is a little back and forth during that application process from our eligibility team sometimes. So it's really important to check your email as you are going through the application process. We'll even send you a note occasionally reminding you if your application hasn't been looked at for a while and we're waiting for information. We'll send little reminder notes. So email is important to stay on top of once you start that application and as it's going through the review process. And they'll let you know if any additional documents are needed along the way. As I mentioned at the beginning, one of the neat things about this program is you are allowed to come back multiple times. You can get support through multiple ways that we offer help to homeowners. You could, even if you receive help on late mortgage payments and then you fall behind, you can come back again as long as you haven't hit that $80,000 limit. So once a household hits $80,000 in support from the California Mortgage Relief Program, that is the maximum amount that we can provide to any household. So until you reach that limit, you can keep coming back. Once you hit that limit, then I'm sorry, there's no more help. We have to make sure that we share the resources. So that's the way that works. Every time you come back, though, you will have to create a new application. You will have to resubmit documentation because it might have been a few months. And so we'll need new bank statements, new mortgage statements, and you're going to have to meet all those eligibility requirements again. So they'll have to go through all that list. So just so you know, and expect that ahead of time when you come back to apply again. Now, I know this group, we really wanted to focus today with all of you about the mortgage assistance that we've been really talking about. But just in case you're curious, interested, maybe you want to share with somebody else you know, I'm just going to take a few minutes to run through those other ways that we provide support and give you a little more info on those as well. So as I mentioned, around the time our program was starting, a lot of mortgage servicers were reaching out to homeowners who had fallen behind on payments and offering some kind of a workout program with them. And some of them offered what's called a partial claim or a loan deferral. And what they did is they took that amount that was past due on their mortgage and moved it to the end of that loan. It would have to be paid off when you either sell your house or you reach the end of your mortgage, but you wouldn't have a past due amount hanging over you and the risk of losing your home. Well, we wanted to make sure, since we were offering mortgage relief to people who were behind, we also wanted to offer this partial claim and loan deferral assistance for people who took that kind of a workout. And so we began that actually last year, adding in the partial claim and loan deferral assistance as well. Again, same amount, anything you apply for, you can get up to $80,000 per household or a mix. You must, the tricky thing with the partial claim and loan deferral, if you're applying for that, you do have to be current on your mortgage payments first. If you aren't, you can come get first support on your mortgage, your late mortgage payment, and then apply for the partial claim and loan deferral. But always have to be current on your mortgage when you apply for the partial claim and loan deferral. And then, of course, you're going to have to provide documentation and proof of that. And then on reverse mortgages, this is for people who currently have a reverse mortgage and maybe they've fallen behind on their homeowner's insurance or their property taxes, and they have what's called an arrearage on the reverse mortgage. We can pay that arrearage off, because you have a reverse mortgage, you don't make mortgage payments anymore, but you still have a responsibility to pay your homeowner's insurance and your property taxes. And so if those, if you end up in a arrearage, then you can come to our program and we can help with that. Again, you have to provide all the documentation that that we need through that. And then finally, on property taxes, many people, when they buy a home and they take a mortgage, they sign up for what's called an escrow account, and they bundle up those property taxes into their monthly mortgage payments. Not everybody does that. Some people pay off their home. Some people choose to just pay those property taxes directly to their county. And this is set up for people in those scenarios where they pay their property taxes directly to their county. And again, if you've fallen behind, you only have to have fallen behind on one property tax payment. Then as of August 1st of 2023, you can come in and get help with those late property taxes. But that's again for people who pay directly to their county. Everybody else has their property taxes paid through their mortgage, and then you would come for mortgage relief and it all gets taken care of that way. So that's a summary of what we do, who's eligible, how you can apply. As I've mentioned, we have a contact center, but there's a lot of help that we actually give to homeowners who are going. So as I mentioned, we have that 888 number, our contact center that's open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. But we also have an email info box that's down here at the bottom. If you just want to email questions to us, that's an option for you. We have FAQs on our website at camortgagerelief.org that might be able to answer kind of a general question that you might have. And then we also have partnerships with legal assistance groups and community-based organizations that might be in your community and can provide more personalized assistance. And then also on our website, we have a link to HUD certified housing counselors. All three of those entities can help. You can contact them, you can ask them or tell them a little bit about your personal situation. And even if you're thinking maybe this program isn't for me, but I need help with my housing payments, housing counselors and legal aid really might be helpful in letting you know what's out there and helping you through the application process. Our CBOs also, our community-based groups, can also help you through the application process. This is actually a page from our website, and those dark blue buttons there are actual links that can help you connect with all of these different groups. And then, as I said, I wanted to take a couple of minutes because we know there's a lot of fraud out there and we have to be aware and educated. And so I just want to let you know, again, this is information that's on our website. So you will find, we have a whole section on fraud and scams, so you can look that up. But some of the things to look for if you're worried, maybe you're talking to somebody who may not be legitimate, is if they're pressuring you to act immediately, to do something right away and don't wait, then maybe that's something to follow up on and maybe do your own research on, apart from listening to that person. If they're asking you to pay anything, frankly, and especially for a cashier's check or wire transfer, this program's free. So if they're asking for money, that is not somebody who's affiliated with the California Mortgage Relief Program, and they are not legitimate. If anyone ever tries to convince you to transfer the deed of your home to their name, that is something that you should look for. You should be cautious about and be careful. And then if they use different stories that pressure you and you're feeling pressured, that's a sign and a warning sign that you should look for. Or to sign papers that you don't know what they are, you should look at them and make sure you know what you're signing. And making payments to anybody who's not your mortgage servicer or not your county tax collector. And like I said, all of these are on our website. It's very unfortunate. There are bad actors out there trying to take advantage of people. We have, if you ever are worried about that you're being scammed, we have information on our website of the authorities you can contact to find out if that's the case, and for them to be able to go after anybody who might be trying to scam or commit fraud. I will let you know our program is very secure. We're very sensitive to the fact that people have to give financial information in order to apply. And so we have a very highly secure portal. We're always investigating and making sure there's no questionable activity coming in through our systems. We have very strict protocols in terms of how our employees handle personal information and keeping that secure. Lots of training that goes on. And then, this education that we're doing right now and helping people make sure what to look out for. So important things about our program, so you know when it's authentic and real. First, as I've mentioned, it's free. The service is free. There's no application fee, so that's really important. Secondarily, the help you receive never has to be paid back. So if somebody says they're with our program and they'll give you 80 grand and you can pay them back 100 later, that is not the California Mortgage Relief Program. And also, again, as a fraud protection, again, that money goes directly to either the county tax collector, the mortgage company. And the reason why is, again, it helps prevent fraud. So that money doesn't go to the wrong person and doesn't go and get credited to the wrong household. And then, and so those are really just how we're trying to protect homeowners. So that's a little bit about that. We're really kind of nearing the end of our presentation. So I've given a lot of information to you, but I have something I want to ask of all of you. And that is, while hopefully for many of you, this program might be something that is going to be helpful, but maybe you also know other people, family, friends, coworkers, neighbors who might benefit from knowing about this program, whose lives might change. Not everybody shares their personal financial challenges with people they know. It's very personal, very private information. So if you want to look us up on social media and share information to your network of people, you never know. You never know who's struggling and might need help. And so when you help get the word out, you might just be helping somebody who's important to you in your life. Now, I will say over time, we have grown this program. We've added things like property tax and the partial claim into it. We move dates around sometimes so more people can be eligible. We really encourage people to sign up for our electronic newsletter. We send newsletter update out every single month with all the latest news about the program, what's new, what's happening. And so if you want to stay up to date on what's happening with our program, I encourage you to go to our homepage again, camortgagerelief.org, and scroll down to the Stay Informed section and sign up for our newsletter. And that way we can let you know when anything new is going on. And that's a great way to stay up to date. So that's really what I have to share. We're going to take some questions. Thank you to everybody who submitted questions in advance of this presentation. We don't take live questions during these webinars, and the reason why is twofold. First is we really want to protect people's privacy related to financial information. And so we know it's uncomfortable to turn on your microphone and share that kind of information. So we want to protect your privacy by taking those questions in ahead of time. Secondarily, there are a lot of questions that are specific to people's own personal situation. And sometimes they ask a question that might just be one piece